Welcome back, Noble Heroes. We return to our heroes in Garen, where Juniper has just discovered that her greatest arch-nemesis, Dambleth, is in fact her father, King Bramble of the Fairies. And his fate prevents him from being devoured by the darkness, so he sits within the shell that is Dambleth. We return.
Sorry, just had continue. Go ahead.
We return to our heroes, specifically with Euphemia. We begin in the Citadel, where she feels a cold presence enter the room that is distinctly empty.
Euphemia looks around. Can she make out anything?
Because of your fate and your eyes, you have felt a similar cold before, when you were dead. As your eyes turn to focus on what to normal people would only look as a wall, your fate lets you see the Reaper, standing skeletally, not too far off from what Isaac looks like a lot of the time. Except you can see a bare white skull of a humanoid underneath. The jawbone clacking together annoyedly. The creature seems to notice you noticing it.
It's not been long enough since we last saw each other, she says.
In your mind, the creature's eyes are going to look up as burning embers inside the skull. And you hear within your head, with your unique relationship with death. What did you do to him?
I didn't do anything.
It's going to gesture towards the body. Then where is he?
What do you mean? She asks.
No soul has left.
I don't have him. She looks at Dom's body.
Well, I don't have all day, he says as he turns and vanishes through the wall.
She sits back and looks around. She approaches Dom's body. Where in the world are you? Surely you don't want to hang around here with... She sits back. Ronan always told me to give like for like. You shared your innermost thoughts with Isaac and I before. I guess I owe you the same. I'm gonna tell you something I haven't told anyone else. Not even Bali, although she might have intuited it. But I think it needs to be said. After I fled from Aragoth in despair, I sat in a boat for 3 days, slowly dying of thirst. In truth, I didn't see a point in fighting it. There was a part of me that just wanted it to take me. Everything was gone. But I knew I couldn't die just yet, because I had to atone. I had to make things right. And so I played a game with myself. I counted the minutes, the hours, the days, and told myself just one moment more closer to when I free Pearl, and then I can be free. Turned into months and years. And over time, I met people. Rawl, and then Bali, and Ronan and Freya, and you. And I became part of this crew, part of this ship. And I remember very distinctly, not that long ago, you were telling a story that had Kalibi utterly engrossed, and Bali and I were sharing a smile over the joy in his eyes. And it dawned on me. I realized I had stopped counting. I realized I had found something else to live for, beyond atonement. I'm sorry I never told you how much you meant. But I thought you should know that you were one of those things I found to keep going. And I'm sorry. She leans over. I'm so sorry that I failed you. I'm not sure that I know what to do without you helping to guide me. I didn't think I'd lose anyone else, really. I thought somehow I could keep us all together. I would really love just a speck of your wisdom and guidance right now. I want to go after Kel Rock with everything I have. But I also don't want to become something dark. Not with your example of turning more towards the light.
Euphemia. You hear the door open. Isaac has returned. Isaac, as you come into the room, you see Euphemia much as you left her. Standing?
Sitting next to the body.
Sitting next to the body.
But she'll start to stand as Isaac comes in.
Isaac, you see Dom's harpoon placed within the room that you were in. The room where the tea ceremony was going to take place.
Captain, I think it's time we get moving. We need to get Dom out of here.
Euphemia, she says. Call me Euphemia.
Isaac lowers his head a bit and says, Euphemia.
You're right. We need to tell the rest of the crew. I saw the Reaper, Isaac, and the Reaper couldn't find Dom's soul.
Isaac furrows his brow and says, "What?"
I don't know what that
shouldn't-
means.
Daniel, out of game, is there necromancy at play here with Dom?
I have theory.
Oh, God.
This is important mechanically. I need you to tell me.
Do you have a spell that senses necromancy? Or are you just using your innate senses?
I need you to tell me because I cast a spell on Dom's body that makes it impossible for him to be affected by necromancy.
He has not been affected by necromancy.
It doesn't make it impossible to
Okay.
be affected by necromancy. It makes sure he can't become undead.
All right.
Sorry, I actually did go ahead and read that because I was concerned about, the effect that's currently going on in the graveyard I'm in, and I was worried it would expand
God.
because that would be
No.
horrifying.
If you bring him to
So
life in
I
that
was-
body, I'm not. I'm just
That's why I
not.
was so happy that you cast that because I was
Yeah.
worried.
I don't. Does Euphem? Well, no. Okay, it doesn't matter. Isaac's gonna look very concerned and rush over to Dom and try and sense anything that could have happened to him.
All right.
But he's probably not gonna.
Since you are without any guide rails as to what exactly you're looking for, I need you to choose a skill.
All right, let me look at my list. Hold on.
Can you read that last line really quick?
The last one?
Yeah.
It's a lack of soul, so I'm gonna go with religion.
Okay, just checking.
Good guess.
Would have been great though.
All right, religion. Religion will give you information about what normally should happen with souls. Go ahead and roll.
Well, we all already know that.
Do you?
I mean, it might provide additional clues.
I crit.
A crit.
He knows everything.
Yay!
What is the critical? What does the 20 plus your religion add up to?
23. I'm sending you a screenshot so you.
I don't need you. I don't think you would cheat.
Okay.
I feel like we should take a picture of that and then send it, put it on the screen as well. Here,
Wow.
I'm doing it.
No,
I'm doing
it is not
It's
worthwhile.
happening.
It's really not worthwhile.
It's definitely happening though.
Jesus Christ. All right.
Oh,
Julian
Frank, it's
isn't a big cheater, everyone. We don't think he cheats all the time so that he can win the game of D&D.
alive. No, but it's still funny.
We don't think he cheats all the time.
Just a little bit of
most
the time. Just so he can roll the most insane rolls whenever the most crazy thing can happen.
You guys have seen me flub some seriously important stuff, so that's how you know I don't cheat.
True enough. All right.
Yeah, you know.
That's actually pretty fair, Julian. I'll definitely grant you that.
Okay. So, Isaac is well aware of the nature of undeath. But, as you look at your gentle repose, there's no answer there. And if he had become a ghost, surely death would have been able to take him. So, you're not looking outside of Dom. His soul must still be in his body.
Maybe your gentle repose is just that powerful.
Okay.
It has to be here, on Dom's corpse, somewhere where death can't see it.
That's why death wouldn't be able to see it.
I steal it with the stone.
Isaac,
Don't
without
steal
breaking
Dom's
eye
soul.
contact with Dom's corpse, is going to say, I think his soul is still in here.
Still in his
Would that-
body.
Mean he's not completely dead yet? Hovering somewhere in between?
She looks at him with quite a bit of hope in her eyes.
Oh dear. Hope is the most
Don't
dangerous
get your
thing.
hopes up.
Can Euphemia see anything if there is a living soul in there?
Now, because you rolled so highly, you do know that there are powerful magic users, similar to yourself, who manipulate the soul with magic. Liches do it by putting their soul in phylacracies.
Okay, sorry, I went straight for that lich part.
But it is not impossible. So it's basically impossible for Dom himself as a dwarf to have done something to affect his own soul. But it is possible for some kind of effect from something Dom has to affect his soul.
Isaac's gonna start searching his person.
Euphemia will look at him bizarrely a little bit. Do we need to pick his pockets?
Euphemia, if his soul is not standing outside his body and it's not inside of it, it's somewhere. It's inside of something.
Euphemia
Either it
kneels
was
down on
taken
the other
somewhere
side.
else, or it's somewhere in an object here in this room.
Both of you, if you are going to search then, please roll perception.
Okay.
You may also roll investigation if that is higher for you.
Yeah, I don't think it is. Yeah, but just checking. I think it's almost perception, definitely.
Your investigation's not bad, actually. Oh, maybe it was.
Rogue skills, man.
9 plus
Oh, no, mine
17.
was a 0.
17.
All right. So both of you are like one of you has each pocket.
Yep.
You're like patting down his leg, and then both of you, basically at the same time, like go to the nape of his shirt and pull it down, and you see the little trident necklace that Dom stole from the watchmaker in Bridgewalk. And you're going to see a little tine of lightning course over it, which has never happened before.
So we both kind of find that, and then Isaac's going to take his hands away and kind of back off and let Yuffie make the next move.
All right. Is it something Euphemia... Does it have...
Dom said that it was a powerful item.
He didn't specify if it was like a fated item or anything.
He said it used to belong to the Empress of the Merfolk. And that he had heard that it could change the waves.
Euphemia looks at Isaac, looks at the item. Can she see anything in it if she uses See the Heart, like any intangibles?
Roll perception.
Okay.
I'm aiding her, right?
You can't aid with her fate.
Ah, okay.
Good try, though.
DC 15.
Okay, you made it, right?
I definitely got it.
Okay.
20.
As your vision reveals secrets, you're going to see, first off, there is newfound power in the necklace. Whatever has happened to it, it is ready, charged, electric. You can feel something like the taste of atmosphere in your mouth when you look at it. Secondly, you see Dom's soul inside the necklace. All of it. His whole mind and personality.
Wait, his mind is in there too?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
And you believe Dom is the battery.
It's going to use his soul to power its...
Dom currently, as close as you can tell, is asleep. You don't know if he can be awakened. But from your vision, imagine a sort of curled up Dom laying on his side snoring inside the necklace. And the power that the necklace is using now doesn't seem to weaken Dom at all. But you also see very specifically that it can. That there is the potentiality in this necklace, in fact, to destroy Dom.
Without taking her eyes away from what she's doing, she tells Isaac, Dom's soul and mind are both in here.
Then I think you should take it.
If I place it back in his body, do you think...
I know your fate could let that happen, Euphemia, but I do not think putting him back in this body is a good idea anymore.
Not that body.
Additionally,
What? Don't
when
look at me
you...
like that.
What did you roll for the perception check?
20.
A 20 is enough to reveal there is an electrical charge running through this necklace.
Right.
Since it is turned on. You've seen similar currents run through things that have hurt you in order to reach inside of them.
Yep.
Darkness. Genjasi.
Oh.
Things that have this kind of power coursing through them can do you great harm to reach into them. You would be wary to try to get Dom's soul from this with your hand.
Currently, at least.
No pun intended.
But if...
Isaac will mention that if you ever wanted to take that risk, he could build Dom a suitable body, for lack of a better word, to put him into. But he doesn't think we should do it.
I will point out that while Yuffie knows that the necklace can use Dom as a source of great power, she doesn't know what would cause it to use him as great power.
So you don't know the trigger, right?
So she doesn't know if she could accidentally trigger something.
Correct.
Shit. She says, I don't want him being used up for energy for whatever this thing is going to do, but I'm a little leery of messing with forces that I'm not sure I might not accidentally trigger.
Would you like me to come him? Sorry. Would you like me to keep him somewhere safe for you? Somewhere where other people won't be able to access this?
Like where?
From behind us, Phaelor is going to kind of like silently step through the doorway and kneel down next to Isaac.
Oh, for the earlier moving speech, please gain inspiration and a hero point.
I was going to say,
Really?
she needs a hero point for
Thank
that
you!
one. I was going to grant you
Give her
one
2 hero
myself. He
points for
didn't
that.
do it.
Really?
Yes.
I was like, okay, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry the whole time.
It's alright. You almost got me going, so.
Oh. I just felt like Yuffie hadn't been able to express to Dom how much he meant, and it was just breaking my heart after last session.
Mm-hmm.
So, thank you.
All I was thinking was.
It was very exceptional as a speech.
Oh, thank you. Yes. Yep. That's how I felt too. So Phaelor approaches.
Yeah, and Isaac says, I much doubt something inanimate could accidentally trigger whatever this is, and I could store it somewhere safely until we can have June take a look at this.
You know that almost all magic items require the living touch to be able to use.
I think it's a good idea.
Okay. Phaelor extends his hand outwards. Well, no, Phaelor is going to take it off of Dom, actually, so that neither of us have to touch it.
Where Phaelor's hands lay lightly on Dom, you can see a necrotic burn, just slightly, from under his fingers.
Nope.
Yep.
Well, yeah, I suppose it could work. Sorry. A gentle repose does protect a lot, but not against that.
Not against death fate touch.
Yeah, I know. That's why I said never mind.
However, it leaves a small little knuckle burns, 4 of them, on the side of his throat as it lifts off the necklace carefully. And then, what does it do with the necklace for its person?
After he kind of gathers it up in his palm, his hands are going to retreat into his cloak, and he's going to step away from us. That's all he does at the moment.
Okay. Out of game. Does he put it in his ribcage or something?
I mean, right now, he's still just holding it in his hand.
Hilariously, I did say store inside of Phalor by accident. So
All right.
I was actually marking it out as you were saying.
Phalor's touch does not seem to do anything with the necklace.
Okay. Euphemia says, I feel a little bit like there's some kind of hope, almost lighter. She suddenly pauses a minute and looks down at her hip, and Satan's guilt is gone.
You look at your hip and you said it's gone?
Yep.
So Isaac doesn't see that. He just responded, it's important to have faith, especially during times like these.
Euphemia is just staring where it's supposed to be.
And he notices and he's like, what's wrong? What are
Fate
you
lives
looking
on her waist. I mean, hope lives on her waist.
Euphemia says, Satan's guilt is gone.
As you say that, you're suddenly going to hear a powerful boom outside your door, and you're going to hear Jania yell, "Fuck!"
Wow, we even use the F-bomb a lot these days.
Gone wild. Euphemia will turn to Isaac. Have they already been told?
Yes.
Shit. Johnny is gonna lose it. She gets up and runs towards the sound.
As you go towards the door, you're going to see Prongor entering the door. He's going to slink inside and sort of like, his head down, he sort of like scuttles into the room, and you're going to see a Jania covered in a red aura of her fate.
Yep.
Full with the strength of her rage. She is an imposing, powerful figure at the moment. And is going to look down, and you're going to see it just goes away immediately. And she runs towards you and kneels down next to you and sort of throws her arms in a blubbering sob about you. And Bali is coming in behind, looking shell-shocked.
Euphemia grips Johnny back hard.
She is crying so heavily that it almost seems like she's faking it. But you know she's not. It's just
Johnny.
Yeah, she's just blubbering. Bali is going to move forward and come to your side and throw her arms around you as well. They have not and cannot currently see his corpse from where you are. Prongor is going to come in the room. Isaac. If you want to continue.
Oh, sorry. Euphemia says, poison from Kelrock.
Jania is just huge fat tears are running down her. Bali is starting to tear up as well because of Jania.
There may be some complicating factors, though.
You don't think Jania actually hears you from how loud she's sobbing, but Bali is going to look at you confused. What do you mean? Her voice is a little shaky.
She leans closer to her ear and whispers in her ear, his soul is still here.
Johnny is like as you kind of like pull away to whisper, her limb just kind of goes slack on you. And she sort of like falls off you and like just kind of hangs there on her knees, her arms sort of down, as she just kind of blubbers into herself. Bali is going to look at you confused still. She says, "Did Isaac do something?"
It wasn't him. Exactly. I think We need to discuss this with Juniper. Have you all seen her?
So about that, Polly says.
What?
Inside the room, Prongor is going to say, Master, I asked the guards what was happening, and it appears as though there is a great beast that has come in the middle of the city, somewhere where Juniper is, Master.
Wasn't June going to visit the Meeks tonight?
It is very possible, Master, that Kiro is there as well.
That's not good. We'd best make haste. Once we take care of things here, that is. Oh, and Prongor, thank you for doing that. I know it's not an easy job delivering bad news.
It was an unusually dire circumstance, Master. The one Janio was very angry. He says, it's a good thing you gave me that adamantine shield. That's all I'm going to say about it.
I'm glad you got to take it for a test run.
He sort of nods, like, wide-eyed and terrified.
Isaac's wondering if it's dented. Do we need to repair it?
Bali is going to go out of the room and get some aid from some of the guards and clerics to come in and take his body.
Where's Triss?
She's in Bridgewalk repairing the ship.
Okay, I remember this now.
Well, the ship is repaired, so she's just kind of hanging out.
Yes, I was like counting down your members of your crew, and I'm like, somebody's missing.
She and Cleves.
Somebody's missing. I knew Clevie was with there, but I forgot that she was too.
All right. Isaac, before we go back to Juniper, as you hear in the other room, there's some movement. You're going to hear the staff, feel the staff vibrate.
Isaac will kind of like step into the shadows and then say, "What is it?"
Asher is going, his face becomes animate, and is going to begin to speak quietly. Isaac, I believe I am aware of the nature of the necklace.
Isaac kind of looks left and right. He's counting how many questions he's asked this necklace today.
Necklace?
Or asked this staff today, because I think it might be 3.
You've asked 2.
Ooh.
Okay.
Get one more.
Isaac pauses a moment and then says, "Tell me everything you know."
That is not a question.
You're right. What is the nature of this necklace?
Asher is going to sort of like wiggle on the nail and look both ways. And then like his head kind of tilts towards Prongor. And Prongor is going to sort of like give like a conspiratorial nod towards the necklace, towards the staff. And Asher is going to clank back towards you. And then say, a powerful artifact. One which consumes the souls of the dead in order to power storms of legendary proportions. I'm afraid that the arrival of a soul inside of it is going to make alert former users, those who will feel the pulse of power into the necklace and seek out its use again. The use of that necklace will destroy the soul within, he says. the one who wields it could well be the most powerful person on the seas.
AKA, don't go near the water.
So does he say anything else about it?
I only know, through rumor, that its last owner was the storm mage, Osire. And it was how he became a pirate lord.
Did he just say that Osire used it?
Yes.
Gotcha.
Interesting.
In his youthful days, to gain his current power.
Maybe he'll be interested in talking with us after all.
Is that all you know?
It is a relatively rare occurrence for the necklace to arrive, and when it does, the destruction that it causes in its wake is so great that it erases its own passing. Usually it kills the bearer, simply for how powerful the item is.
I see.
So if you're strong enough to survive that, you're scary, and now they're coming after you.
So he said, consumes the soul inside, the necklace attracts attention, right?
He says basically it sends out like a magical pulse that those who have used it before would recognize.
Okay. Only those who have used it before would recognize it?
Correct.
Okay.
So imagine it like a
Those
genie lamp, but whenever somebody new rubs the genie, every other person who's rubbed the lamp knows that it's been rubbed.
Okay, but not other beings.
Right.
How wide range is it?
As far as they know, Ignos.
Ooh. Have fun.
I like how you're acting like it's just Euphemia who's going to deal with this.
It's not, I know, but you know what? I've got enough to deal with right now, so have fun with that.
It's good to know, though, that it
while
kills
we're-
its bearer,
while
because
we're kind of
otherwise...
standing to the side, I've met Phalor has another place to hide stuff like within his jaws.
Okay.
Basically just like in his mouth. He's going to put it in there and close his teeth.
Darn it, now I have to go erase my lines.
Oh, don't imitate it! Oh!
I love when Daniel imitates Sam.
Yes!
That's part of his DM.
He imitated Phalor closing his teeth and jaws around the...
Okay.
What's holding it in place, though, is the question.
Let's not even go there.
Speaking of soon-to-be skeletons, let's get back to
Island?
Jennifer.
Just resting on top of the
Oh!
floating highway?
That was not a comforting...
No, it wasn't. I didn't even see his face, but I could tell.
Jennifer, as you summon the guilt and flash Dominus with the light, in that moment you are additionally assaulted mentally, but once you recover from that assault and expel Relcor momentarily from your mind, you feel something approaching through the Shadow Realm.
Does it feel malicious?
It feels malicious.
Of course it does. Why wouldn't it?
Dominus is going to...
Isn't he stunned?
He is stunned. Yes, correct. All right. So it is Jennifer's turn.
Can I equip Satan's guilt?
You want to equip the guilt?
No, but yes.
I wish you hadn't taken it yet. I would have liked to have gone to you.
Sorry.
It's okay. It's totally
I don't
understandable.
think you have enough time.
Yeah, that's probably true.
I'd spent an entire month thinking of this plan. So.
Did you? I always like your plans.
I don't know how great this plan's gonna turn out. It
Yeah,
might
but
turn
they're
out bad.
creative.
It might turn out real bad.
All right.
What other choice does she have, really?
I had a few, but this is one of the
Least damaging?
ones.
So with a rather quick, jerky movement, Jennifer is going to place the black stone between your shoulder blades.
It's already floating there, so she just kind of backs into it.
As you back into it and it senses flesh.
Oh, mother of monkeys. She will, as she does it, she will drop to the ground and become big. A normal person. Like a big person.
Because he can't fly.
Yeah, I just remember that.
Yep.
Okay, so the stone is going to open and form two ribcage-like series of blades. And those teeth are going to close basically right here underneath your bosom, like around your waist.
So it's like a really, really grotesque bodice.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Do the teeth dig in?
I'm assuming they do.
No.
Oh, really? Okay.
A hinge of metal is going to unfold, covering the length of your spine. It seems heavy and cumbersome. It probably feels like it weighs about 50 pounds. And when it closes, it becomes active.
Does anybody have the card of what that does?
I'm looking at it right now.
Nope.
You must wear it for at least 24 hours once closed.
Yep. Hang on, let me just write this down.
Yep, same.
Basically, nothing can open it early.
Okay.
While worn, you gain a new flaw.
Which is?
I feel extreme shame about my past failures.
Considering she already does, that sucks.
But must hide it from everyone.
She already does that too.
You were made for each other.
Oh,
You really were.
While wearing it, you dream of your worst moment.
Okay.
You cannot fly through any means.
Okay.
Fall damage is doubled, and you can't reduce it or stop fall damage.
Okay.
You always become prone when you land, also.
Which is why I made myself big. Okay.
You cannot hide the guilt, even under objects.
Okay.
If you attempt to hide it, it removes the obstruction as it desires.
That could be awkward.
While worn, you can teleport as an action from one shadow.
Hang on, I need to go to a different spot. I ran out of room. Okay. Teleport?
Can teleport from a shadow you are completely within to another within sight. You must be completely within the first shadow, but only need to be able to fit out of the second shadow. If you don't meet the requirements, the move fails, but it doesn't consume the action required. And deception and stealth checks have advantage.
Deception and stealth checks?
Yes.
Okay.
Whenever you cast an illusion spell, creatures have disadvantage on checks to determine if it's real and saving throws against the spell.
Okay.
And finally, whenever you deliver the final blow to a creature, you gain temporary hit points equal to its challenge rating. The hit points last until the guild releases you.
Temp HP equal to what?
The challenge rating of the creature.
Okay. All right.
So, as you put the guilt on, you feel something approach you in the shadow realm. Whatever that is, they're going to take their turn, and nothing happens in your world. And then it's top of the round again. which means it's your turn.
Okay, he's still stunned, right?
Yes, he is going to recover next on initiative.
Okay. June is going to cast an illusion spell.
All right.
In it, you hear the fast approach of, like, the wind of somebody fast approaching, and the door will burst open. Or actually, the door's already open, right?
Yes.
Because we came. So, you will see a
First, which spell are you using?
Good question. Let me check my spells really quick, because I don't remember. Whichever my highest level illusion is. Remind me what my 6th level unlocking thing did.
Let you get that spell slot, but nothing else.
A 6th level spell slot,
Yeah.
essentially, for any 6th level spell.
It gave her the spell slot only.
So
She
I
doesn't
can
get-
upgrade whatever
so you
I
can
cast
upgrade
to
to 6,
that level.
but you can't.
Okay.
You don't get any level
I
6
get you
spells
now.
until you get there.
Okay, I need to look through something real fast because I didn't think about how this worked because I'm a dummy face.
You're not a dummy face.
A little bit.
You're
I got
a clever
was-
face.
I was a little bit too consumed with what was going on elsewhere that I forgot to plan. I'm sorry. If I were 2nd level spells. Here I am. No, those are 1st level. 2nd level. Okay.
Okay. Well, while you figure that out,
Okay, go for somebody else. It's fine.
we are going to return back to the Citadel. Dom's body has been taken away. And he is going to be prepped. And you all are now in one of the many hallways of the Citadel. And 2 of the kings are going to approach you. Resium and Amanistrus. As they come forward, Resium, always a stern and solemn dwarf, is going to look especially stern and solemn. And Amanistrus is going to come forward, and she has sorrow in her eyes. You've done so much for us. Especially you, she says towards you, Euphemia. To have this happen in the castle is an embarrassment that we shall live with. I hope that you will allow us to try to make some measure of amends.
I could use your help tracking down the avenue through which this ended up in his hands, who all knew what it was meant to do, and bringing them to justice.
Resium and her are going to exchange a glance. They're going to say the name of likely a knight or guard who they both are thinking of at that moment, simultaneously. Resium is going to turn back to you. We have an investigator of sorts, someone who regularly takes care of such difficult problems. Is very efficient. If you would present me with the necessary evidence, I shall provide it to him, and he will begin his quest.
He's good? She asks.
It is his fate. He is exceptional, he says. He was the one who discovered many years ago that Ace was attempting to fill the wall children's head with nonsense. Uncovered a riot before it happened. And that was on his off day.
Good. Because if he's not effective, then we'll go in. And we're not the most subtle. I'll give you whatever information you need. Just get them alive.
The details of such difficult times can be tough to have to deal with. We can see to it that something beautiful marks his passing. Something that would glorify his life.
She turns to look at her crew. I think we'd like some time to think about what that should be.
If you, whatever level of input you would like, she says. If you want to plan it, if you want to leave it in our hands, we have people who do this professionally, she says. He'll be buried in a place of honor in the resting lands, so that no one shall ever try to seize his body for their own uses.
Thank you.
I'm sure you're going to need some time, she says. Again, our deepest sorrow. With that, the two kings are going to give as much grace as possible before they step away.
Euphemia puts a bracing arm on Bali, then pauses to look at Isaac. Isaac, before... And she breaks off. Why did you run out of the room?
Did you just ask Isaac that?
Mm-hmm.
What did you say?
She asked him why he ran out of the room right in the middle of the tea ceremony, before Dom passed away.
Oh. While Dom was in the back room, I sensed a disturbing explosion of necromancy somewhere in the city.
What?
And I stepped out to consult with someone on what was happening.
Yeah, we saw Harper and crew head out into the city,
Oh, thank God.
Bali says. There was some kind of emergency.
Obviously, I had no suspicion that anything would happen to Dom, and I thought it rude to... Isaac's going to glance down at his staff and say, deal with that kind of business in the middle of his ceremony.
I wasn't asking it to blame. I was just curious. I think we might have an answer on where June is. She says that she didn't, she wasn't asking to blame him. She was just curious.
Okay.
She says, I have a suspicion that we might know where Juniper is then. She might need some help.
Whatever you think is best. I'm on board.
Euphemia turns to Bali. Where were Harper and crew running?
We return back to Juniper.
June's spell.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, that took a little bit more effort than I thought it was going to because I couldn't remember the name of the darn spell. Anyway, figured it out. So, what we're going to be doing is casting Major Illusion. Major Image.
Major image.
Major Image. But I'm casting it at level 6, which means it lasts until dispelled.
Okay.
As opposed to the 1 minute it was supposed to last.
Excellent.
So, what sort of bonuses do I get for this?
While using Satan's
So he
spell?
takes disadvantage to any save and disadvantage to any check to realize that it's not real.
That is good. That makes me happy. All right. So, what he sees is Manstress, using whatever ability I think would be most appropriate for her to arrive here on quickly, bursting through the door and has a pained expression on her face as she grasps the door.
All right.
Going for the heart.
So, using knowledge that Juniper possesses about the nature of Dominus,
As she does, she goes, Keegan.
that's what the illusion says?
Yes.
Okay.
It's shaky and a little breathy.
One question. Do you need to maintain concentration on major illusion?
With the 6th level spell slot, let me
Right.
check. Does not, without requiring my concentration.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
That's why we use a 6th level spell slot, baby. And I'm able to use conversations and move it as I will.
Okay. So, many things are happening. Your illusion
Thank God I'm able
suddenly
to-
bursts onto the scene. A Manistress arrives. Hero, who is 1 millisecond from raging, is going to see that Dominus is affected gravely by the arrival of Manistress on the scene. And instead of raging, he is going to begin using the distraction to try to get his family out.
Good. That was what I was hoping he would do. Good hero.
Um,
You be your meekiness selves and escape from fights.
Meekly.
Yes, your meekly selves. I like it.
the first person he's going to get out might be a godmother who is dropped, both during the stun and the subsequent arrival of Manistress. However, Juniper is attacked by 2 faceless kings.
Oh, come on.
Extremely powerful creatures of darkness are going to emerge, claws and teeth first. And they both attack you.
I have a question.
Yes.
That teleport that I'm allowed to do,
Yes.
What is its
There is no
Mechanic.
range.
Each sight, and it's an action.
Okay, so it is an action. Okay, that was my question. I couldn't remember if it was an action or not.
All right. So both of them are going to exit forth in a blitz. Like basically these massive clawed hands reach out to your face and try to rip you apart. So each one gets 2 attacks. So we'll do a claw and a bite for each one.
this is gonna suck. What type of damage does it do, please?
Okay. The first bite, his teeth are going to clamp inches from your nose, and then his claw reaches forward to try to swipe at you. They do a combo of damage, mostly physical.
Oh, goody.
The thing you're weakest against.
Yeah.
21 VAC for the claw.
Totally misses. What?
Oh, I forgot how few hit points you have.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no.
All right.
This is why I don't know why I don't have any sort of thing that helps me with physical, because that would make a lot of sense for her to have.
We need to
So
find some.
I will be investing in that.
Yeah.
Just so we're all aware.
So it's 9 points of slashing damage, and you are grappled.
That didn't bother me, but okay.
And then the second one. All right, that's going to hit, and that's going to hit as well. All right, so 4 slashing and 5 necrotic.
Oh wow. So 18 points.
And another 9 slashing.
I will use 4, named 3 wish points to reduce it to be only, we're going to be down to 9 instead of 6.
Single wish point blocks 10 damage.
Oh! I like that better. Excuse me while I reduce.
But only on one attack per wish point.
Okay, well, 1 wish point reduces to 1 damage. Okay, so tell me those again. So it was 9, 4...
9s were the biggest. So you could reduce it if you wanted to
There were
use
2
2
9s?
points. Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to reduce it by 1 on there, 1 on there, because I've got reduced resistance to necrotic already.
Okay.
So I'll take 4 straight, and then I will take 2. So it's 28. 27, 26. 20. Okay. So much better. Okay.
All right, so faceless kings look a lot like
Burning.
faceless men, but at the tip of their head is so it's under their skin, but there's these like upraised bones that stick up like fingers that are long and carved that form a crown about their heads. And they're taller, larger.
I have a very distinct image of something that's in popular media of it. Anyway, continue.
As the two of them break out, Hero is going to like freak out, jump back, and like push might be a godmother into the kitchen from where you are, trying to get him out of a window. The two creatures, like faceless, obviously, with just like the hint of where their mouths are. They kind of close their eyes and mouth, and you can't see anything. But they do have those features as opposed to faceless men. The two of them lash out towards you, and Dominus is going to turn towards the view of a Manistress who has come into his sightline. So
June has never been so grateful for her ability to compartmentalize as she has right now.
what does he need to roll, or does he get a saving throw? Does he have to discover it? And
Give me a second. I just looked it up and I probably forgot because of all the other stuff that happened.
There's a lot going on.
Okay. So his is he needs a successful intelligence investigation check.
does he need to use? Does it say like he gets to make one when it's cast, or he has to make one like after?
Physical interaction. Actually, it's only if they have. That can't be right.
Normally, there's an initial save.
I know that's what I was looking for. Physical interaction reveals the image to be an illusion because the things can pass through it. A creature that uses its action to examine the image can determine that the image, the illusion, is an illusion with a successful investigation check against my save DC. If a creature discerns it is an illusion for what it is, the creature can see through the image. But it doesn't actually say he gets one. He's just gotta.
Okay, so here's what I'll
Decide?
do. I'm gonna have him roll a high insight check to not be so encompassed with emotion that he doesn't check.
Well, he gets disadvantage on it.
So this is about his emotional state, not his ability to see through the image. This is just a roll for me to know whether or not he's of
But it says
mind.
saving checks, saving throws as well.
This isn't that.
Okay.
This is about his emotional state.
All right, go.
Basically, this is a roll to see if he gets a roll.
All right.
Hope that he doesn't.
Okay, he rolled a 19, so he is aware enough to be like wary that this is like he knows that she could arrive.
I was like, it's totally logical for her to be there.
Yep.
If we were anywhere else in the world, I'd say okay.
But it would make total logical sense.
Okay, so as the two of them growl and slash at you, carving into the meek house, Dominus is going to turn towards Manistress, and you need to puppet her at the same time as you're being attacked.
Thankfully,
So-
it doesn't say my concentration can be messed with, so.
Dominus is going to turn, and you're going to see the darkness peel back from his head. Renan, what are you doing here?
say the same.
You weren't supposed to see this, he says as he turns away. He's going to cover his head in shame.
He sees her glance at June, at the meek,
You're going to,
and then
at
look
the
back
reveal
at him
of,
with pain.
so when he turns away, you have long theorized that creatures of darkness are affected by the emotional state of an elder creature around them. You're going to see the two faceless kings that were tearing into you are going to sort of stop and look up like they're sort of drawn to attention. Like two dogs where like they hear a noise in the dark. You think that it's possible he has given them sort of a confusing set of commands or instructions, and they don't quite know what to do. What was your final words with her?
What did I say? She said...
Oh, you. Yeah, she sort of pushed it back on him.
Yes, she said I could ask you the same. He looks, what do you, blah, blah, and then she gives a pained look at the people he's hurting that she's the king of.
It's not like it was. You shouldn't be here.
She takes a step forward. But I am. This is my kingdom. These are my people. She gestures at the meek. Her voice is strong, but there is a hint of a tremble.
His voice also trembling. I thought you'd come at me with a blade. Try to cut it off.
Should I?
Did you give her a sword?
Yes. I mean, no. Well, she would give her whatever she usually would wear to battle.
Give me a wisdom check to see if Jennifer knows exactly what she brings to battle.
She would have seen her fight before.
But not against another angel.
Yeah. That's fair, but she would bring what she would bring with Administress. She is
Then Sarah tells me what her items are.
She is actively using her knowledge of Administress and her interactions with her. The question is what do I know? Like, I mean, she's been a king for somewhat few hundred years, right?
Right.
Well, no, she hasn't been a king, but she's been down here for a few hundred years. And
Okay, you can either leave it up to a check, or you can tell me there is a specific item that a magistrate would have that he would recognize the absence of.
She would... I've always noticed that a magistress has a particular bracelet that she always wears. It's a magical bracelet.
Okay, this isn't something we're making up. This is an actual item that she would carry.
Okay, I tried. Okay. So you're saying that there is?
There is a specific item a magistrate would bring to battle that an angel of her caliber would have.
Well, if she would have an angel of her caliber, then yes, she would include that. I mean, I know a lot about angels, so...
All right, then go ahead and give me a check.
Okay. I was like, I don't know what you want me to do here.
Intelligence, DC 18.
You can do it.
Well, I know.
You can do it.
Is this a check or is this an int roll?
It's an intelligence check.
Okay, sorry. I meant saving throw versus int roll.
No, it's not a saving throw.
Nope, I don't have it.
All right.
So she didn't come for battle, clearly.
Where is your bow?
It's a pleading.
Roll Juniper's deception.
I apparently have advantage on this.
You do.
23.
He buys it. Juniper, over to the side, your mind is working a mile a minute to both keep this going and watching Hero slowly sneak his relatives out of the house.
Meanwhile, I'm in the grasp of a faceless king.
While you are there in its grasp, you are going to feel something. The assault on your mind blew open chambers that you had sealed for a very long time. In Relcor's attempt to get to you, he sort of smashed everything on the way. Although he didn't do a great deal of damage, it was enough to put a little hole in your defenses. Through that hole, you gain a sudden sense of the two faceless kings in front of you. A sense that you can feel more of their minds than you should be able to.
That apparently my own defenses have been blocking me off from the darkness?
Yes.
Interesting.
This could potentially have opportunities associated with it.
Do I think that I can affect them? Because
I'm not technically totally a creature of darkness. I am technically a creature of the darkness. And I am very mentally powerful.
Would you like to try?
Oh, this is going to be a bad idea.
yes,
I mean, how could you say no?
I know, right?
Come on.
All right. Roll a charisma check.
I knew I was stacking charisma points for a reason. Just straight charisma?
It is sheer force of personality.
She's got a lot of it.
Your DC, if you get a 10 or above, you affect one of them. If you get a 15 or above, you affect both of them.
I do. In fact, I get a 17.
Yeah.
Darkness washes over June's eyes as she kind of quirks her head slightly, and her normally rosy cheeks become ashen white. Not ashen white, but very pale white. And her hair, which is normally golden, slowly turns to the silver it is in the dark realm. Her eyes turn black.
As you look up at the two tall, lanky figures, one of them with its hand about your neck, well, it's going to slowly quirks its head as it looks down at you. And then you're going to feel like tossing, like putting a leash on both of their necks.
What happened to the leash that he was wielding?
He dropped it.
Cool.
You believe, at least momentarily, you have control of both of these creatures. You are their elder.
She's going to demand that they get the meek to safety.
Very strangely, Zarafan often warned of the idea of trying to touch the mind of darkness, that who knew what else was listening, or what else they could do to you. Desperate times call for desperate measures, and in this current moment, you feel something startlingly human about their minds. Something soldier-like.
Almost like the ones that they used to be? Like their corpses?
The two creatures are going to, grasping one meek under each arm, are going to jump through the Shadow Realm and dash out into the streets where they drop them. And the deception continues. Dominus seems affected. You see in this moment he seems extremely hesitant to continue speaking with her. He is clearly ashamed, and you recognize body language suggesting that he wants to run away from the situation. You think potentially her pressing towards him could cause him to flee.
She's going to continue doing so.
You have it step forward then?
One more step, yes.
All right. Give me one more advantage deception check. DC 20.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Very, very, very much yes.
As a manistress steps forward and reaches out a hand, going to lay a hand on him, the ultimate gamble. He is going to suddenly step back and then disappears into the Shadow Realm. And you're going to see suddenly the remaining two meek in the room. The darkness is going to significantly lessen its attack on them, its virulence in that moment.
Can the Faceless Kings pull darkness out?
No, but you might be able to.
Okay. They're there. Let's try it.
Using this new passageway open into your mind, you send out...
This only leads to good things.
What could go wrong with looking into the darkness? It's not like it looks back.
All right, Nietzsche.
the same effects, the dark in your eyes, the ash on your skin. And you look not at them, but inside them, at the darkness within. It's not a word, it's not even a scent or a chemical. It's will. You tell it to leave. Roll charisma.
What's DC, please?
DC 11.
Okay. I can do this. I can do this.
You can do that.
Please be higher. Fudge. It's only 7.
As you will whatever's inside to leave, you realize that you simply don't have a grasp on it. Those two were intelligent. They were easier to commune with because your mind is used to working in intelligence with sentience. But these are primeval.
So I need
Oozes,
practice,
effectively.
basically. So, but it has slowed down significantly.
Yes.
And I think that maybe Leslie could get it out.
You are going to see Hero sort of peek in through the door. Where'd he go? He says.
She's concentrating really hard right now. The illusion of a manistress is still there, looking around because I'm trying to make her still seem like it in case he peeks back in.
Jennifer, where is he?
June's eyes are black at the moment, staring at the two.
Okay, you're facing away from Hero at the moment.
Okay. He will see that her hair is silvery white right now. And her hand is out, shaking as she's trying to will it out of him. She goes, he's gone. Do I still have control of the two Faceless Kings?
For now.
Okay. I'm going to will them to go as far away as possible. And to not come back.
They leave. Jennifer, I've got good news, Hero says. I figured out how to... Well, I didn't really figure it out, but my mom, she got over it.
Give me just a moment, please, Hero.
But she's helping the others get over it.
June is trying to process all of the nonsense that she has just learned, did, and felt. And she's can't quite spare that for him quite yet. She nods and says, that is good. Give me a moment, please, Hero.
We don't have a moment. Orega and that thing are coming this way. He says, we gotta get out of the house.
She will make Admonistris go out and say, stop! To them.
Okay, that doesn't do anything.
Isn't she, like, glowy and shit? Like, isn't real life... No, she doesn't glow. Okay. She will make her glow and make herself known.
Okay, so, like, that creature of darkness is ramming Orega into the house.
Oh! Sorry, I forgot that guy was still there.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind. Yes, she will snap out of it because June would have realized that that thing is there. Maybe, hang on. June realizes that that thing is there and will actually not do what she just did.
All right.
Okay, yes. She goes, yes, yes, yes. She will grab those... Damn, I shouldn't have sent those two Faceless Men away yet. Oh, it's fine. She will grab the two Meek and hurl herself away.
As you and Hero and the remaining Meek rush out of the house, Orega is struck mightily by the claw of this great elder.
June's hand just goes to her forehead and she's like, just give me a minute here.
You're going to see Orega, like, sort of staggering, bloody, like he's drunk, is going to put his shield up, and the creature rushes forward and headbutts the shield so hard that it snaps in two, shattering all over the ground, and Orega is going to fly backwards and is going to, like, barely crest the edge of the house, knocking off a few shingles, but he lands heavily in the grass and his head in the pool.
Well, there's now a tidal wave.
Yeah, the pool is now empty.
Yes.
So he's
And you're going to suddenly see Harper's crew.
Oh, thank God.
All of them suddenly appear, and you hear, "Damn, that thing's ugly," from Red, as he does a triple axle flip and throws several daggers towards it. As you watch, Harper's crew is going to assault the creature, and you see Harper's blade probably whirling inside the creature's guts. The creature seems in agony from the assault, and is clearly bloodied from its battle with Orega, and the creature is going to seem to be retreating from the assault.
I would like to murder it right now. Very badly, in fact.
What do you do to it?
Remind me again what it had weaknesses against. It was lightning. It didn't have. It was resistant to lightning, right? I remember this already from last time.
You can't kill it with fire.
That's what I was actually wondering. Do I know if it has resistances to fire?
Give me a moment. It does have resistance to fire.
Okie dokie.
About light.
So right now it is ignoring you entirely. If you engage, it will attack you as well as them.
June is very, very, very upset right now.
Okay.
And June wants it to die. A lot, in fact.
Okay.
I'm just trying to figure out what she can use to murder it.
So here's what's up. So the creature is still quite healthy. So there is pretty much nothing you can do in the amount of time before it's going to flee. But go ahead and flavorfully tell me how June aids in the battle.
Flavorfully, I am looking for a spell that can do some sort of damage that would actually hurt it, preferably a radiant spell,
Okay. Yeah.
which I don't know at the top of my brain right now.
Guiding bolt.
Yes!
Flame pillar or pillar of flame, doesn't that do radiant?
That's a paladin spell, isn't it?
I assume she had access to all the spells.
No.
No, just certain ones. Yeah. Guiding Bolt's level 1, right?
Mm-hmm. You
Yeah,
could
I'll blow a
upcast
wish
it.
point for that.
Okay.
And I upcast it.
I'm not going to make you blow a wish point since this is kind of flavorful.
That's cool, yes. She will upcast it as much as she possibly can, and it flies straight towards it as a raging beam of sunlight directly from the end of her staff.
All right. As the creature is struck by the beam,
Do I feel any connection with it with my darkness thing?
you feel like if you tried to touch its mind,
It would take
it
over
would
mine.
take over you.
Yeah, I had a feeling, but I just wanted to know if I could feel it.
As it is blasted, and you're going to see a great scar appear under its neck from Harper's own blade slicing out towards it. The creature, you're also going to suddenly see the shell of darkness surrounding you all crack, and about 40 lasers shoot at the creature. And you would guess that that's probably because Dominus has fled the area. As
That was kind of my goal.
the creature is being assaulted from every side, you're going to see it suddenly sink into a bubbling muck into the Shadow Realm. It's a slow process, and the creature is screaming the whole time. But it's more like a battle cry than like a dying.
Do I still feel asshole dragon guy?
No, Relcor was blasted away from you,
brain.
and you haven't felt him since.
Just checking. Okay. How is Zento doing?
As you go to
Because
look
I
around for
fixed it at one
Zento,
point.
you're going to see that Aurega has been flatly knocked out, and is in bad shape. You're going to find Zento in worse shape.
I will immediately start casting Healing Word. Can Healing Word be upcast?
Yes.
Upcast
An extra
Healing
D4
Word.
per level.
All right, she'll upcast it to level 5.
Okay. You're going to see a lot of his wounds and cuts and bruises begin to heal. And he's going to open his eyes. Did I get it?
It's gone. But I'll need a word with you in a little while.
Gone like dead? He says hopefully.
No, it bled.
Grim roots, he says. And he's going to sit up and then go, that was a terrible idea. I greatly wish I did not do that, he says as he lays back down.
Yes, June will actually just plop down on the ground next to him for a moment. And she just absently pats his shoulder.
He's going to kind of look over at you.
She is currently sitting there, her eyes closed, as she just breathes for a moment.
Bad day, he says as a statement.
Intensely. You know, honestly, if it weren't, this is out of game. If it weren't for Satan's thing, she might actually cry right now. But she has to hide her shame. So.
Gain 3 inspiration.
Okay.
And a hero point.
Oh, sweet. Back to 2.
All right. It is an hour from that time.
By the time you guys get there? Because let's be honest, we know you're coming.
You all have met up. The arrival and search of the area has uncovered a great deal of damage has been dealt to this neighborhood.
Did any of the meek get killed?
So, many of the meek were injured. It's about 10 injured.
Are any of the meek still possessed of darkness, or did Hero's mom take care of it all?
They are still possessed of darkness.
Okay. She would immediately ask for Leslie to come.
Hero describes that his mom seems to have overcome it, and they are guessing, thanks to her fate, is healthy.
Gotcha. Yes, she actually sent a messenger, our messenger, to Leslie to please come as soon as possible.
Hero describes something slightly stranger than that, beyond just his mom's recovery. He describes that it seems, at least, that somehow when she recovered, others were able to overcome the darkness as well.
Probably because of their link. That's what her thought was. She goes, well, you guys are all mentally and emotionally connected. More likely than not, she was able to pull people through because of that, since the darkness has such a strong connection to the mind.
Wow.
She just realized she knew that. And she went,
A mental link can get people over darkness infections?
perhaps. She actually starts thinking about that, and then she starts thinking about the pure mental power of the meek in general. And she's like, that's something that needs to be looked into.
Hero seems in
She doesn't
awe
say that out loud.
of that knowledge. You all, where
Did
would you...
Leslie say she was coming?
Yes. They are going to be taken to the Citadel very quickly for recovery in the same hospital ward that Isaac was in.
Okay.
It appears as though the creature is not dead, for certain. Shadow arrived on the scene, and through her ability to carve shadows, is going to share with the group that it seems it left a big wake
In the Shadow Realm?
in the Shadow Realm as it left. Sort of waded deeper.
She will ask, did you sense anything else?
Shadow's going to shake her head.
Her jaw clenches.
Roland will arrive soon after. You all are sort of in the midst of a huge effort by the guards, clerics, and other city folk, and Meek. There is a big swarm, like a crime scene around you.
I would like to play out when they get there, if you don't mind.
Juniper,
I feel
you
like
stand
that's kind of a
alone
thing that's
with
important.
Hero in the middle of this. Hero is with his mother and his aunt, and the other Meek are close by. When you see the lithe shadow of Isaac begin to walk towards you through the crowd. Master, there's the godmother, Prongor says. You see...
What's June?
Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. I was just going to say, what is June doing when we arrive?
June is currently talking to Zento, who is right next to her, as well as Hero, who is next to them. Hero is messing with his family, of course, but she's having a quiet conversation with Zento.
Oh, Brongor, it looks like we arrived a moment too late. Things are already over.
You will note, by the way, that June is actually disheveled. Like, I don't think you guys have ever seen June actually disheveled, but she looks like it. Her hair is down from its usual fancy do. There is a smudge of dirt on her cheek. Her makeup is still flawless, but you imagine that might have something to do... Oh, she doesn't wear makeup. Never mind. That's why you have... Thank you. So she... Like I said, her hair is messed up. Her clothes are actually disheveled and rumpled, pulled askew in certain places. And you will note very, very obviously there is a strange metal contraption down her back and around her.
Is Satan's guilt visible still? I know you had it like floating with you.
No, she equipped it. So now it is a metal bar that goes along her spine, and there are like corset-like bars that wrap around her front. Mm-hmm. So it looks like she has a really
in itself turned into that.
Yes, it looks like she has a super, forgive the pun, but super metal-looking corset. Yes, that was a double entendre.
I don't think any of us have used it before yet, have we?
Correct, which is why
Not
I
yet.
doubt you'll figure out what that is yet.
Yeah. Okay. So
You probably
that's
lost
probably the
everything
most
in a
alarming
minute.
thing is June's state of dress.
Sorry?
Isaac will move on and start seeing if there's anywhere where he can help, because he can tell that this is the aftermath, and he wants to see if anyone needs if anyone is still poisoned or needs healing or medical attention.
Has Orega woken up yet?
Yes. He is currently sitting.
Probably near us, because we would probably include him in the conversation since he came.
No, he's pretty close to where he fell.
Then
So
why
he's
aren't
like
we over there? Because we were originally.
he's like 10 yards away.
Okay.
He is speaking to apparently a guard that he saw many times in the city. Orega had some manner of adventures in Garen without you guys.
Okay, well, there you go.
So, as Isaac gets closer, you see Yuffie and crew as well.
June concludes her conversation with Zento as she sees you guys approaching.
Euphemia's expression brightens when she sees both of you, and she looks way more relieved than she usually does to see you both.
June, however, looks so drained and kind of stone-like. Her face looks like it's like so closed right now.
Euphemia approaches. You're both alive, she says, and smiles a little tremulously.
Hero gives like a... Yeah.
Good.
Let's see how insightful I am right now. I'm giving myself disadvantage.
You see his aunt Longears is sort of like nervously like pulling on one of her long ears. Hero sort of has his arms around both his aunt and his mom.
How are you looking? You look relieved, but otherwise, how do you look? Do you have red eyes? Like, you clearly...
Yeah, I mean, she looks shaken. Unexplainably shaken. She's trying to hold it together, though. She's trying to focus on what
You
needs to
see
be
a
done.
very
And
light...
June does the exact same thing in the opposite direction and asks, are you alright?
Artemis, what can we do?
You see a very light red aura around Jania.
Her eyebrow quirks just slightly as she looks at Jania. What is Isaac's expression and demeanor right now?
Isaac's demeanor is cold in a way you guys have not seen since you first met him, and he was still kind of stuck in his old ways.
Oh, so we look alike. Gotcha.
Bali
Reading that.
is suddenly going to rush through Isaac's leg and rush up to you, sort of brushing your bangs aside. Jeez, you're injured. Are you okay?
How the hell did she reach me?
You're sitting, I thought.
No, I'm standing.
Oh.
I mean, I can be. That's fine, actually. Because she was having a conversation with Zento, so actually it would be more polite if she was lower to the ground. So yes, I'm sitting.
All right. She sort
Easy
of
for
like
me.
brushes your bangs aside and is like, oh, "Fuck, you're injured. Hang on." She's going to like reach into like her pouch and start pulling out some medical salve.
June didn't realize she was. Although, I mean, it makes sense. She actually looks vaguely surprised which is the only emotion you've seen on her face so far. As she does that, she reaches up and she brushes aside some blood that seems to be oozing out.
Here, I've got it. Bolly says as she sort of like tenderly kind of dabs some medical salve on you.
She goes, "Don't worry about it." She just casts heal on herself.
Euphemia says, what is that on you? She's looking very intently at the item around your waist.
She looks at you and says, "I'm afraid I was forced to borrow something from you." She glances down at your waist.
Hey guys, let's Hero sort of stands up and looks back at his aunt and his mom. Let's discuss this over here, right? He says as his two of them are like, they're kind of like looking at the thing on your back, like, oh, what's that?
She didn't specify. She was intentionally holding herself
being big.
back, and she knew that she would pick up on what it was.
Yeah, you'll see Yuffie's eyes kind of glance down, glance up, eyes widen. She gets it.
She just nods when she notices your look.
You see in the crowd, Faline sort of talking to the captain of the guard. Harper is looking at the spot where the creature was. Read somewhere.
Approaching 2 hours, by the way.
And as you guys head over to chat about the significant events that occurred, we will go ahead and call it there for the time being, Noble Heroes. Thank you for joining us. We really appreciate it. And remember, do try this at home.